New Orleans, a city of mystery, a city that 1 million people proudly call home, at least the ones above ground, because New Orleans is also home to many beings that can't find their way back. Watch as our group of paranormal investigators attempt to discover these lost souls. Join us as we explore New Orleans, the most haunted city in America.
Throughout time, mankind has been obsessed with the afterlife. Every civilization, every religion had a belief in the afterlife. During the Victorian era, people became even more obsessed with being able to communicate with the dead. The seance became a macabre form of entertainment during the late 1800s and early 1900s. Various methods are used to communicate with spirits, one of which is called a communication board or spirit board, commonly known as the Ouija board. When I was a little girl, we'd have slumber parties, and oftentimes we'd wind up trying to use the Ouija board to communicate with the dead, sometimes even bringing it to a cemetery. Oftentimes that planchette would take off on its own, or the board would flip over. Now, whether or not it was the imagination of nervous, scared little teenage girls, or whether something really was happening. Usually we wound up running and screaming after something weird happened. Nonetheless, even today, the Ouija board is a popular form of entertainment and a method of trying to communicate with the dead.
Tarot has a specific meaning. The cards are laid out in a specific pattern and interpreted by the individual's intuition or their own psychic ability. Same thing with palmistry, cowrie shells. A Ouija board, a spirit board, actually opens a portal, inviting a spirit to give you the information that you need or to give you the answers. Instead of relying on your own intuition, you're actually using a spirit. This is not divination in the strictest sense of the term. This is what's known as necromancy. A spirit board is also very much like a magic mirror. Used respectably, a magic mirror is usually covered. When not in use, it can be used for spell casting as well as scrying to see images. Even still, with a magic mirror, there's a certain amount of intuition that goes into it. Ouija board, not at all. You're entirely reliant on spirit contact. This means that any spirit can come through. Ideally, it will answer the question and you say goodbye on the board and the spirit will go away. This is not always the case. The best thing to do with the Ouija board, unless you're very familiar with spirit systems, spirit contact, don't use it at all. If you do decide to venture out, lots of kids do, we all did as teenagers, be smart enough to sage the board before you use it. Failing, if you don't have sage, sprinkle it with salt. Ground it out. But do be aware that anytime you use a Ouija board, you're literally opening a door, not just from your home, but from yourself to anything that wants to come through.
You're watching Haunted New Orleans. This is Haunted New Orleans.
My name is Hester Eby. I'm Director of Tours here at the Myrtles Plantation. Overall, of our visitors, I would say at least 60% of them get some kind of feel that we are haunted. They either get, if it's nothing but a cool breeze on the neck, or someone playing with their hair, or someone tugging on their clothing, or actually seeing someone in their room. And a lot of times we have dolls in the rooms, we have jazz musicians in our rooms, and a lot of times they'll show that they're there just by moving those things around. A lot of guests have also picked up things on camera, and mostly the shape of a lady. You can see straight through her. She's transparent from the shoulders down, but from the neck up, she's a black woman. It looks like she's wearing something on her head, and we just believe that that could be Chloe, the slave that was killed here. The story of Chloe is a slave in the early 1820s. She was a mistress of the second owners. His name was Judge Clark Woodruff. Chloe was caught eavesdropping on some of the family business, and that was not allowed. As punishment, Judge Woodruff ordered her left earlobe to be removed. In reply, she baked a birthday cake for his oldest daughter, and she used the juices from the oleander leaf in that cake. It let off a liquid very similar to arsenic, killing the judge's wife, Sarah, and 2 of her children. And there are 3 of the ghosts, along with Chloe, the slave, who are still said to be here. Those who say they see Chloe, as I said, say from the shoulders down, it's a blue mist of a shape. From the neck up, she's a black woman. She has a large earring on the right ear. The left ear is missing, and she's wearing the turban. Some see the judge's children. They tend to show themselves in very bad weather, always wearing long white dresses and have long blonde hair. Some have even said they've heard crying of children. Some have said they've heard the crying of what sounds like a female adult. And we all connect that with the most popular ghosts, which are those 4. Me, myself, yes, I've experienced things. I've heard children giggling. It sounds like girls. I've also heard very heavy footsteps on the front porchway. Someone with very heavy boots on, gone out to sea, and of course no one there. I've also, when I've done that each time, heard a child's voice say hello there from the end of the porchway, as if they were playing a trick on me. They'll do that sometimes too. We used to have a doorbell at the front door. We removed it because it would continuously ring from time to time. We would go out and look, and of course no one was there. I'm sure that the children like to play. Like children of today, they will do things that maybe they're asked not to do and not allowed to do, and they just want to get away with it and do it anyway. That's what I do believe the giggling is. I've even been tugged on, and it's a place that whenever I stand there in the house, it's the same thing. From having children and grandchildren, it's that type tug a child will do when they need to tell you something and you're talking to someone else. As far as hearing the ladies cry, we've had 4 different incidents where ladies have been involved. I do believe if it's on the right side of the home, the newer section, that it may be William Winter's wife. Her name was also Sarah, but Mr. Winter died on the 17th step in the main staircase after being shot on the north porchway. If it's on the older side of the home, we kind of relate it to the children's mother, the children that were poisoned along with during the time Chloe was killed.
Stay tuned for more Haunted New Orleans.